Hello everyone, this is Paul Quinters back with another video. It's been a while, but I've been racing this series in Texas called the Big Side of Texas, and today we'll be back to my Gas 125. We're doing a motor rebuild on it because I'm hearing some piston slap. Whenever you start it and you run it, you can hear it, and my radiator's cracked as well. It's leaking on the bottom. As you can see, there's a small puddle there. Yeah. Alright, so we've now got the exhaust off and the motor mounts. Drain the coolant out. We'll move on to the power valve next, and the one on the other side as well. Then we should be on to the head in no time. Alright, so I'll see y'all once I get the power valves off. Okay, so we got the power valve cover off, and for this power valve, all you do is grab the shaft right here, pop it off just like that, and then you should be able to find a way to get to this nut, and that's what we're doing next. On the other side, it's the same thing, except there's no shaft. You just pop the cover off to get to the nut, and it's 4 nuts all the way around, and then get the spark plug off, and probably be easier if you take off the head itself to get the cylinder itself out, because I'm sure this one's gonna have to be honed. But after I get the cylinder off, I'll come back. Alright, so I already got the cylinder off. It was a pretty simple process. Took maybe 20 minutes, but as you can see, this piston definitely needs replacing. You can drag your fingernails across it and they get stuck. The rings aren't seized, so that's a good sign, and the top of it's really not too much carbon buildup, but definitely the sides and the back right here, definitely we're needing something. That crank down there, that crank still looks good. I don't see any signs of it getting too hot or nothing like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, the crank looks fine. And the cylinder's right over here. It'd come out pretty easily, come off of there easily. We're gonna have to get all that paper gasket off of there. But I mean, it's not too horrible. You can just hone it and it'll be fine. That head is not bad either, so that's good. So we're gonna scrape off some of this old gasket material here. I think you're gonna want to use carb clean and a razor blade or a scraper. I got this one. It was just in my box. I had a handle and everything, so that's a little bit better. But what you want to do is you want to just kind of be on the surface of it. Don't really go at an angle like that, because you'll gouge your whole cylinder. Then you are buying a $800 cylinder. So kind of keep it as flat as you can, and just go over it real nicely with some carb clean and the scraper, and just try not to gouge nothing, because then you're in it big time. All right, so I just got to the cylinder, or didn't just get to it, but I'm on it. And I was doing some gasket removal, so I'm still not done. It worries me because I don't want to scratch the gasket or nothing. But once you get here, you're gonna want to remove the power valve. It's just one little Allen key bolt, and it sits like this. And sometimes these power valves, they'll get stuck to where they stay open. So you're gonna want to just open it up and move it around. If you want to go extra far to make sure nothing ever happens, I say take off this little dadgummit star bolt and take it out. You can pull this assembly out here, and you put a little bit of oil down in there so it'll continue spinning freely. Right, so I got all the gasket off the cylinder. And I took some 180 grit sandpaper and I just went all the way around it. You don't want to stay in one spot for too long, because you'll shape down the material too much in different areas. But it came out all right. Looks pretty good. Still working on getting the cylinder honed, as you can see. And we also, I've done what I can on this gasket maker side. I took a little bit of sandpaper to it too. I'm gonna just try to use more carb clean on it, see how that does. power valve assembly. Clean this one out as well whenever you get to it. Just carb clean, you know. So we're on to doing the piston while I wait for a cylinder hone. So there's gonna be a little like O-ring in this side, and it's gonna be on this side as well, I think. So you'll pull those two out, and then there's a wrist pin that you're gonna pop out. After you get that out, the the piston should come off, and there'll be a needle bearing in the rod. So let's do that. And there we go. So, like I said, two little wrist pins. Two little rings, and then you got the wrist pin here. You only have to take out one side, but I took out both just because it was being difficult. Oh, there it goes. There goes that. There's the piston. And then here you go. You just pop out this needle bearing. And a lot of this stuff can be salvaged if your bike didn't blow. Mine didn't blow, but like I said, I was hearing that knock, and I mean, it's obvious why. Okay, so after you get that cylinder all nice and honed out, you're gonna wanna grab your piston kit. There should be 2 snap rings, a wrist pin, and a needle bearing. First thing you wanna do is get the piston rings out of the package with the wrist pin, and there's gonna be a little notch in your piston that you can see, and that's where your hole for the ring needs to go. So whenever you put this on, just go over top just like this. Use your hands to spread it out. Try not to scratch up the piston too much if you can. Just like that, and boom, slides right on. It goes right there where that hole is, where the notch is. As you can see right there. So that's how that goes. And then before you put your piston on, make sure you look at this arrow right here. That's going to be facing the exhaust port. That's which way that's how the piston faces forward. And then you go back to your bag. You should have a needle bearing, and it's going to go right between your rod. Before you even put this on, grab some oil and lube it. You just grab a little bit of 2-stroke oil, put it in the cap. Just like that. And then grab your needle bearing and just set in that cap. Move it around, just like so. Put your cap right here on your case. We're gonna need to put some on the rod itself. It'll just slide right in just like that. I'm gonna put some on the rod. I'm a little bit sick right now. Goes just like that on there. Then you grab your piston, throw some more all the way around this. Make sure it's nice and lubed up, and using this 2-stroke oil, your bike's gonna smoke for a little bit. For 30 minutes to an hour, it's gonna be a lot more smoke than usual. Obviously, because it's gonna be all over the cylinder and everything, so everything slides around and moves easily. You get that all nice and oiled up. Make sure you have your arrow facing the exhaust port. Go ahead and get this lined up. Then you grab your wrist pin. If I can grab it. There we go.
take it out of its package. Grab a little bit more oil, put it all the way around this, as much as you can. Then you gotta look through here, and I don't think it matters which way the pin goes in. It may have to go in from the right side. So we can take out the solid first. There it goes. Just need a little bit of oil on the inside of that piston. Then line it up again with your needle bearing. You slide that in there, and then grab your two pins, and make sure you have a pick with you as well, because it's pretty hard without a pick. And they go in each side, the right side and the left side of this, just like this. And take your this is the hard part. At least for me it is. You're just going to try to put it all the way around through this groove that's inside of the piston. And then grab your pick. Just try to push it through, which is not really working. You can cut it. Okay, so we got this one in. You just have to play with it. So we put it in this side first. We put the open in this side, and then we just kept on pushing around with the pick, and made sure it's all nice and seated all the way around through the groove. Just like that. All the way through the groove. Okay, so on the cylinder behind the exhaust cover, the exhaust port, there's a power valve shaft behind it. What you'll have to do is you'll have to remove both sides of the power valves and watch how everything comes off, because this one has a spring and a knob and all sorts of stuff. And make sure you don't mix them up. And then you're gonna probably have to tap it out, because I had to tap mine out. But there's two little sleeves on this power valve shaft. As you can see, this side goes up in here. And you're going to want to spray this all down with carb clean and just get it all nice and cleaned off. This side is kind of stuck on here for some reason, but take these off and just get everything nice and clean with carb clean. And there's two gaskets on here. One right there and one right there that you're going to go ahead and slide on. Some new ones that came with the Vertex kit. But I'll get back to you after I start putting this back together. So once you get the power valve assembly the power valve shaft all cleaned up, there's a gasket that comes whole, and you're gonna have to cut off the sides. So before you put the exhaust part back on, cut off the sides first, and then make sure you get it on there nice and evenly. And make sure whenever you put that shaft back in, get some more oil, and make sure you oil it all up. And while you're putting this on, make sure you hold up the flange that's in here for the power valve shaft while you're tightening it down. So staying on this power valve topic, there's a lot that goes into these. You're going to want to take out this flange right here, and there's a cylinder here that holds in that, and these things get stuck a lot when I first blew my bike up, this thing was stuck open, the power valve assembly. So you're gonna want to take this out, throw some oil in there, put it back in. Try not to strip that bolt, because that'd be a pain. And then after you get that shaft in there, make sure it operates. As you can see, you can just grab it with some pliers or use your hand, and you can see it move up and down, just like that. And make sure before you start your bike that this power valve is all the way up like that. But right now I'm gonna take out the cylinder, just like we did the other side, and lube it up. Okay, so on this right side power valve assembly, we have a bolt that goes through a collar like this one. It's a bit bigger than the other one. So to go the bolt through the collar, through the spring, and the spring is going to go like this, and then it goes through the assembly itself, the power valve where that little hanger hooks onto it that I showed earlier. And then there's one more little collar that goes on the back, just like that. And then everything goes inside the bolt, inside just like this. I know it's kind of hard to see. And then you take screw it in there about halfway. Just enough to where you can still move it. And grab, you're gonna grab this little side of the spring, pull it right over. Attempt to pull it right over this small nub. This is another one of those tricky parts. I'm gonna screw it in there a little bit more if I can find my Allen. Here we go. I just want it to be a little bit more stable. Okay. Screw it in there a little bit more so it'll be a little bit more stable, hopefully. And then just try and grab this. Just pinning my pick. Okay, so I went back and checked an old video that I found when I first did the rebuild. You're gonna want to keep this bolt loose, but just threaded at the tip almost, so you can lift up this assembly a bit more, and then you can pull it over easier. Let's see. Here it goes. Okay. So you get that on there, push down, and then, yeah, there you go. It should be correct. As you can see, I just kept the bolt pretty loose and then did it, and slides right over with the pick. All right, and there we go. So it's nice and seated on there. Just make sure you push down with it. Make sure this longer pin right here is all the way down, touching the plate. Once you get that, make sure you put Loctite in the hole first, both of these. But once you get that, tighten it back down. Put your metal gasket over and tighten it back. Or don't do that yet, actually, because you have to still get the nut that goes in there and tighten it down. Okay, so we got the head on, and we got some silicone around the head where the two little gaskets go, because it doesn't have like a paper gasket that just sits there, so we just put some silicone around it just to be sure. But here we go, we're going to start putting on all these bolts And we're gonna do it, each one of them across from each other, almost like a star pattern, like how you take off a car tire or put on a car tire. And we're gonna make sure we put a little bit of thread locker on all of these. That thread locker is already drying up. I left it here for a minute trying to find the torque wrench. And you're gonna want to be at 159 inch-pounds or 13.4 foot-pounds or 18 Newton meters. All of it's the same. I'll go ahead and just throw gaskets on the washers on all these bolts. This one's for the smaller one. Okay, so we'll lay these right here. A little bit of thread locker, a little bit of thread locker, and thread locker. Go ahead and put this one here. Put this one here. This one here. And then this one here. We'll go ahead and take our normal ratchet before we put on our torque wrench. And we're just going to make sure they're all at least snug to the head. Again, going in a cross pattern. We just witnessed the ding-dong ditching, so even though nobody even lives in there.
Good question for real. You hear me?
Yeah.
You're right to ask.
They're just ding-dong to ditch.
You hear
Ding-dong.
what I said?
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you, sir.
look at me. I'm serious. It's good to ask. Good question to ask.
Yes, sir.
I shouldn't have gave you such a hard time.
Just continue.
Have the torque wrench where it's supposed to.
Well, you're the one who moved it.
Maybe I won't give you a hard time.
You moved it.
Nope.
Yep. And whenever you put the cylinder on, you're going to need some of these crow's feet. They go inside of a ratchet. Oops. Yeah, they are. Okay. Okay, now. Alright, now we're gonna torque them all down now that we got them all snug. Again at 159 inch-pounds, 13.3 or 4 foot-pounds, and 18 Newton meters. I'll go ahead and jump over because it's getting pretty tight. Tighten them all down first, a little bit more. Okay, now we'll go ahead and actually
You might be going over there, buddy. I would go in a star pattern. I'd go across.
Well, that's what I was doing. Okay. It's all the way flush right now. Looks like it. Okay. Alright, here we go. It's the next day once again. I'm gonna start by going around all these nuts, all these studs, and putting a little bit of Loctite. A little bit of Loctite. A little bit of Loctite. And then we're gonna go ahead and torque all these down once we have everything Loctite. I got one more on that side. But the torque spec is, what was it? I have to check again real quick. Torque spec is gonna be 204 inch-pounds or 17 foot. From what I'm reading. Go ahead and screw this one down. I'll get back to y'all after I have everything screwed down and getting ready to torque. Okay, so here we go. On my torque wrench, I have a adapter that goes from we call this a quarter to a 3/8, and I have a crow's foot 12. It just goes right on there, just like that. So then you can get into these insides right here a little bit easier. Just go ahead and we'll go around, tighten everything up first. Make sure you tighten everything evenly. So you go from this one to that one over there, from that one to this one, from this one to that one. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start with this one. I got everything pretty evenly tight. There goes that one. And then we're going to jump over to this side. Here. This one's probably the hardest to get to, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one to spec or not because of that. But I'm going to give it a shot. All right, here we go. Washed it, not warm at all. Like I said, it's gonna smoke a lot at first once you have all that oil on the piston and stuff, but once it burns off, you should be fine. You don't wanna give it too much gas during the heat cycle. Really not any, but I want to hear it a little bit. Yeah. If your bike's not running great, you can take off this power valve side. Leave it off, rev it up a little bit to where it gets pretty high in the RPMs. You can see if the circle with the dowel pin I'm talking about is moving. But here it is, fresh rebuild, fresh top end. All right guys, it's another new day. I got the bike all put back together for the most part. It'll run. I have a have a little bottle that I have feeding it. Just like this for now. I got a fan hooked up so we can do a little bit of heat cycles. So last night we had to retake everything apart again because the power valve wasn't opening or closing right. It was all stuck together, so we took everything back off, cleaned it up with a wire wheel instead of just cleaning it with brake clean and stuff, and put grease down in the little exhaust ports there's a small circle with a dowel pin sticking out where the power valve arms go and connect to. So we took those out and greased them up, made sure they moved. And after they started moving, everything was fine. So we're about to start the bike up and do some heat cycles.